Hello, good evening, and hello. My name's Tom Miller, and this is HRTV News. This week's top stories. It's transition time. Children all over the UK are preparing to make the leap from Year 6 to Year 7. We talk to two transition experts about what to expect when you make the big move. We take a look at what you've been up to at home. And we take a look at all the usual goings on at HRTV. Hello, good evening, and hello. Our top story this week. Year 6s all across the UK have finally come to terms with the fact that they're not going to be the top dogs for much longer. The big move to secondary school is upon us. We had chance to catch up with Laura Wilson, Senko at Robert Sutton, transition expert, an all-round nice lady. Hi Laura, thanks for joining us today.
Hi Tom, it's lovely to meet you.
So let's dive straight into the questions. Laura, tell us briefly about what the new Year 7 can expect from secondary school in September.
Okay, so I think for lots of students, it's going to be quite different to what they were expecting from previous years. But first of all I would say is that you need to just kind of not worry. It's going to be a great new experience. I think lots of students worry because they're moving to a bigger building where they move around more. And actually lots of questions we often get and concerns is, what if I get lost and things like that? So what I would say first of is don't worry about what September brings. Robert Sutton is a wonderful family school. Lots of people here have lots of time for our children. We love to care for our children as well as obviously your academic side. So they're all the wonderful things that you can look forward to. We also have two new school dogs, Hugo and Buddy. And as I am doing this interview, Tom, Hugo is fast asleep on the floor, having had about a 45-minute run around with Buddy and have just gone a bit mental together. So he's snoring away. So if you hear anyone snoring, it's not me, it's Hugo. So anything else to think about our school? As I say, we've got a lovely warm family kind of atmosphere. We're probably quite small school compared to other secondary schools, and I think for lots of our students that really helps when you come from small primary schools. But September, you know, I wish I could tell you what it is exactly going to be like, but until we have that information from the government, I'm not 100% sure. But please be reassured that we'll do everything to make sure it's an excellent start to your secondary career.
Oh, sounds lovely, sounds lovely. What do you think are the big differences between primary school and secondary school?
Okay, so I think I briefly mentioned one. So obviously at primary school, you tend to stay in the same classroom with the same teacher, or you have a couple of teachers, whereas obviously on a day-to-day basis at secondary school, you move around between lessons, you have to find different classrooms. We've got two blocks, so obviously you move across two different blocks, and then you literally have 5 lessons every single day that you've got to make sure you remember. So that's normally the big thing that's different. But I think the other thing that's different is we start to kind of try to give you independence. So we give you that independence to kind of, you know, look after your own things. So we would be expecting you to pack your own bags when you're at home. You'll pick your food in the canteen and things like that. So there's a bit more freedom, I would say, than there is at primary school. Other things, I think, things that are probably similar. So, you know, you'll still have some of your friends that you might see from your primary school. You might have friends who you maybe are on football teams with or do dance classes with, who don't go to your school but might come here to our school as well. So that's a bit of a similarity and a bit of a difference. So you'll get to know lots of different people. And I think one of the big differences is you'll see lots and lots of different teachers. And you'll see lots of different teaching styles, which I think is really good because it helps you become a better learner.
Laura, what, if any, support is available for the Year 6s that are moving up?
Okay, so currently on our website, we have a transition page, which has all the information we think you could possibly need. And each week we upload more information as we get to to grips with the virtual planning of transition. So we have videos from different members of staff, so you can get to know them. I want you to be able to come in September and know different people's faces simply from watching their videos. We have some transition challenges to do. We've got some transition work. So if you're bored or if you want to do some extra work, there's bits and bobs on there that you can do. There is a questionnaire that I do need students to fill out. Now, this questionnaire is really important because if you fill this out, one of the questions is, who are your friends? And if I know who all your friends are, then I can make sure that at least one of your friends is in your form group with you. So you need to make sure you go and fill that out for me, guys. So there's lots of information on the website. Hopefully, we will next week be running a Zoom meeting for parents to attend so that they can get some information as well, because it's not just the children who need this to know what's going on, the parents need to know as well. So yes, there's lots going on our website. I wish we could have you all attend as you would normally to our transition, like when we do our transition days, but we all know what's going on in the world at the moment. So everything at the moment is very, very virtual. During the next 2 weeks as well, you should be receiving a phone call from a member of staff, and that's just a hello phone call. And it's also to ask you any concerns or questions. But my big thing would be, go check out the website, check out the videos, and fill out that questionnaire. I need to know who your friends are for your form group.
Sounds like there's lots for those year sixes to do and to be cracking on with. Laura, we're going to move into our quick fire round now. So,
okay, I'm ready.
I'm ready. Laura,
ready.
What happens if I'm late?
Okay, so if you're late, you need to go to your form group if it is still on and explain why you were late, and then sit down and crack on with the rest of the day. If it's after form time, you need to go to reception. But my big advice would be, have a think. Why am I late? Do I need to set my alarm early? That might be an idea.
What happens if I forget my homework?
Okay, so my big thing on this one is be honest, okay? We've been teachers a long time, okay? Don't lie to us. We know when you're telling fibs. So just say, I'm sorry, I've forgotten it, my bad, okay? Or we have learning support where you can come and do your homework. You could print off your homework with us. Or if you're struggling, you can come and ask us. But if you've forgotten it, my big advice, just own up to it. So I'm really sorry, I've forgotten. And again, think about maybe why you forgot it. Did you pack your bag the night before, or were you doing it in rushing whilst eating your toast and having your brew? You know, maybe pack your bag before, making sure you've got your homework in there. That'd be my big advice.
Laura, what happens if an older child wants to squish me?
Well, first of all, I don't think they will want to squish you, but if they do want to squish you, my big advice would be find a member of staff you feel most comfortable with. That might be me, it might be our lovely receptionist, Mrs. Fields, it could be anybody, and say, help, an older child wants to squish me, and we will help and support you. But my big thing would be, don't worry, we have lovely students, and I know the horror stories that go around about big kids bullying little kids, but they don't here. And if you do have a problem, come and speak to somebody you feel confident with.
Last quick fire question. What happens if I get lost?
Okay, so I'm going to own up to you here, year six. I still do not know which way around the science rooms are, and I've worked here for 10 years. So don't panic. That's the first thing. Don't panic. Don't worry about it. Find a student who you feel, looks nice, doesn't want to squish you, and ask them, ask a member of staff, or just come back down to reception and someone will point you in the right direction. Or go on our website, have a look at our map, and plan out your routes before you come.
Laura, thank you. Laura, before you go, I think you now have the opportunity to end with a message for all of the new Year 7s.
Okay, so to our future Robert Sutton Year 7s, we are looking forward to meeting you. We know things have not been the same as they normally are. We know that might make you feel a bit anxious or a bit worried, but we're here to support you, to look after you, both your well-being and also your academic side. We cannot wait to meet you. Please go on our website, have a look what's going on there, watch some videos, find some familiar faces, fill out your questionnaire so we know your friends for your form group. But really, we are looking forward to seeing you. Don't worry, we'll look after you, and see you in September.
Laura, thank you for joining us today. I know that you're very busy, so we appreciate the time that you've taken. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Tom.
Ah, your precious baby. It only seems like yesterday that they were starting school, all wide-eyed and innocent, full of enthusiastic hopes and dreams. But soon we'll be sending them back into secondary school before they turn into teenagers. Our year sixes leave us with a warm, fuzzy feeling inside our bellies. None more so than last year's year six, Erin Dunn. We decided that we'd have a catch up with her and find out how she's got on in year seven. Hi Erin, thanks for joining us and thanks for coming on the show today.
No problem.
So, firstly and most importantly, have you missed me?
Yes, I miss all the teachers at Holy Rosary.
But obviously me the most. Erin, what were you worried about most on your first day at secondary school?
I was worried about getting lost, which was very silly because our school's got a really easy layout. I was able to find my way around all the building in less than 3 days, which was, yeah, looking back now, it's really quite silly that I felt that way.
What school are you going to, Erin?
John Taylor Free School.
Ah, yes. So there was really nothing to be worried about?
No, not really.
Ah, good. Erin, is there any extracurricular activities? And have you taken part in any?
At our school, they're not considered extra, as we're all required to do at least one a week. I've taken part in photography, choir and drama, but a couple more. But they're rotated every half term, so everyone gets a chance to do something they enjoy.
Wow, that sounds absolutely amazing. Erin, what's the biggest difference for you being at secondary school rather than being at primary school?
I think at first it was strange having a different lesson and a different teacher for each lesson, because in primary school, obviously, I was used to having one set teacher for every lesson, or most lessons. But it's actually quite beneficial because I get to build different relationships with different teachers and find different personalities.
Erin, what does a normal day at secondary school look like for you?
So normally at about 8:15 or so, I'll meet my friends outside of school and we'll wait there until the buses come at about past. So it's a good 15 minutes, we'll just be chatting. Then me and my friends who were on the bus and the ones who I wait outside with, we'll go into school and we'll just walk around for a bit. We can sit in the restaurant if we like, if we haven't had breakfast or if we need a drink. Then we go to our personal tutor time at 9. We stay in there for about 20 minutes and then we have our first few lessons until break time. I normally stay in the restaurant at break time, purely just, yeah. Then we have more lessons until lunchtime. We'll walk around or go to our enrichment if we've got one. Then we have more lessons and then it's home time.
Wow, so you've got quite a busy day.
Yeah, I suppose.
Good. What do you miss most about primary school?
The teachers. No, honestly, my old classmates and my old teachers.
Ah, lovely. And what's the best thing about being at secondary school?
In secondary school, I think a certain level of maturity is reached, which was much needed for some of my old classmates and myself. But making friends has been a really big positive for it as well.
Ah, lovely. Erin, are you ready for the quick fire round?
As ready as I'll ever be.
Okay, let's go. Erin, what happens if you're late?
Teachers are usually understanding if it's beyond our control, such as an accident on the motorway. However, as long as it's not frequent, they're absolutely fine with it. School opens at 8 o'clock, so you can sit in the LRC or the restaurant. And our first lesson's at 9, so we've got quite a big window to get there.
What happens if I forget my homework? We were doing so well today.
Pardon?
What happens if I forget my homework?
The teachers will ask you to bring it the next day, and like in regards to the lateness, as long as it's not frequent, it's absolutely fine normally.
What happens if an older child wants to squish me?
Personally, that's never happened to me, but I'm guessing you'd ask for help. But it's highly unlikely at my school because the teachers are on the ball.
And what happens if I get lost?
It's very unlikely, but you could ask for help from a student.
So there's plenty of people that know their way around.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Erin, thank you so much for joining us today. It's been absolutely insightful, and we hope you're looking forward to jumping into Year 8 next year.
Yes.
And maybe saying hello to some of the current Year 6s that will be moving to your school. So thank you very much for joining us today. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you.
Is that a big enough pause?
I guess so. Last night, I watched a programme called The Goggled Box. The Goggled Box records people watching television, so I was watching them watching television. Madness! You need to watch some real TV, like Holy Rosary TV. Let's find out what happened on Holy Rosary TV this week. The listening hour this week is still focusing on transition. Mr. Heath read us the beautiful The Paper Dolls by Julia Donaldson. Mrs. Batchelor took care of Around the World Wednesday by reading us A Squash and a Squish in Italian. Don't forget, every Thursday it's lunchtime liturgy. And every Friday, Mr. Brogan talks us through this week's important updates. Make sure you know all the information that you might need. But this week, it's on a Monday. Before our final story, let's head over to our site manager, Ronnie, for the weather.
Now is not a good time.
Thoughts and prayers, Ronnie. Thoughts and prayers. And finally, keeping fit has been an important part of lockdown. Every day I've been spending hours getting up from the sofa, running to the fridge, and then back again. Luckily, some of the students here at Holy Rosary have been doing things a little bit better. Let's take a look in part 1 of our regular feature. Luckily, some of the students here at Holy Rosary have been doing things a little better. That's all we've got time for today. Thanks for watching, and remember, loving heart, strong mind, stay alert. So it's called Gogglebox? Yeah? What? And it's all right? Oh, okay.